Hi guys, so welcome to CPP by 2. So in this video, let us talk about strace. So what is this strace? So strace is basically an utility command which is used to identify what are all the system API which is invoked behind the scene. So let's start with some example. So what I'll do is I'll create a simple hello world program. I'll say it mean return 0, then I'll say printf hello world \n. So then I'll simply go to terminal and compile this one strace.c. Then I'll execute this one. So it is simply executing this hello world, right? So now in order to do this strace, so what you have to do is we need to give this strace command. Then we need to execute a.out. If I hit enter, so here you can see there are a lot of things happening, right? So the interesting part is this one. So here you can see there is a write command. So whenever I do a printf, at the end of the day, the write API, the write system API is being invoked behind the scene. And the first argument for the write command or a write API is file descriptor. So one represent a file descriptor of stdout, which is nothing but a standard output. And 13 is the number of bytes which is being written from the write API. So if I calculate all this thing, it is 13 bytes. So this is what happening behind the scene. Then what about all this system API? So what are all these things which is being executed even before executing my write? So these are all the system API which is being invoked even before calling main. So this sounds interesting, right? So here you can observe there is a execve. So this is a fork command, right? Basically it is forking one more executable which is being called from my main. In this case, this strace is invoking this a.out. So that means strace is invoking a.out and it is calling an execve, which is nothing but it is forking a.out. And the command line argument is a.out. So these are all the number of system APIs which is being called even before executing main. So let us try to give some command line arguments. So maybe I'll say arg1 or simply say bhavit c, enter. So whenever I do this one, I'll go back to this one. Can you see here? So a.out, bhavit and c. So this is the system API, which is the first system API which has been invoked. Then after there are a lot of things which is happening behind the scene. At the end of the day, it is calling and write API, which is where my printf is called inside my main. So now what I'll do is I'll simply change this fprintf. Here I'll do, let us say std error. So it's a standard error, right? So what is a number for this std error, which is 2. So now I'll go compile this one and re-execute with strace. Then here you can see the write is being executed and the 2 is the first argument which has been passed to the write API. So this is what exactly it is happening, right? Let us take one more example. So let's say I want to execute a system API. It's a system call, right? Simply it will print, it will execute ls and it will call a system. So basically you can pass in the command for this one and I need a header file for this one. So let's say unix std. Let us see what will happen. So let me compile this program and it is implicitly declared. So simply say man system. So it is in stdlib, not in a Unix standard. So I'll say stdlib, save, compile it again and execute with strace. So right now simply I'll give a.out, enter. So now here you can see where exactly my hello world, this is where the hello world is there. And on top of this one, there are a lot of things which is happening. So where is my system API? So even before system API, there are so many things happening, or at least, so in this ls command, so it is printing strace and a.out. Simply I'll search for strace.c. Can you see here? So this is what exactly it is printing here, right? So even before this one, so many things are happening. So in order to understand it better, so what I'll do is simply I'll move this one above. So I'll move this one above to mark it. My system call will call from here. So then the same thing, I'll take it, copy and paste it here. So whatever the system API which is being executed between these two, these are all belongs to this system API. So then I'll do Control C, compile this one, GCC and let me execute it. So here where you can see this is what the second line and the first line is this one. So simply by executing the system API, whatever the system call, whatever the function, here you can say internally it is maybe registering for a real-time signal, and this is a signal default, signal ignore, and all the thing it is happening. So from this one I can say there is some signal registration is happening, and there is a mmap, so memory allocation or memory mapping is happening, then sigproc, then memory unmap is happening. So then it is waiting for the program to execute. So simply it is executing an ls command in a separate process, and it is getting all the output. So here where you can see a.out and strace. So this is what exactly it will return. So simply it is executing the command for that. So this is what guys like which is happening behind the scene. In order to understand what are all the system APIs which has been invoked behind the scene, then you can use a strace command and give your executable to that. So this is all about this strace in this video guys. So thanks for watching. Thank you.